This is a page from the England and Wales census of 1871. The first 3 records are blank, and all blank records must be placed at the end of the batch. Therefore, my initial entry is taken from line 4 of the image, and I mark it as entry number 1. With this type of record, entries can be made as table entry or form entry. With table entry, you are working from left to right in the grid, and you scroll from side to side. With form entry, each record is entered vertically in the panel, and you can move between records by clicking on the record number. With indexing, you cannot make assumptions. For example, here we have a daughter called Sarah, aged 14, and marked as unmarried. There are another 5 younger children, and we would assume that they are unmarried as well. However, because the condition is not indicated on the record, we have to complete this field as blank. You can mark a field as blank by clicking on this tool. Or you can hold down the Control key and press the letter B. A useful check is to add up the total males and total females. In this case we have 22, and since we know that there is space for 25 entries, we should make 3 blank entries at the end. To mark an entire record blank, you can click this tool. Tab along to the end of the final line, and the program takes you to the checking routine, and then submits the batch. Here I've got part way through a batch and then realized that I've missed out the record of Thomas Sedgwick. So I click my entry for his brother Edgar, which is at the point where I need to enter Thomas. Then I click on this tool to create a new line. You can see that now I just need to correct the entry number column, but everything else has been moved down to make space for Thomas. In this batch, I noticed an occupation of retired schoolmaster. We're requested to enter just the essential part of the occupation, and not include terms such as retired, or formerly. Therefore, I've entered the occupation as schoolmaster. Names which are abbreviated should be entered the way they're written. Here I've entered THOS and not expanded it to Thomas. However, you can see that a mistake was made on the form by the census taker. The names are male and the gender is also given as male, but the relation to head of family is given as daughter. I've corrected this and entered the relationship as son. This is a batch of christenings from a Church of England parish record of 1780. On the first line, I can see that it says Sarah of John and Tiller's Howe. I cannot assume the gender or surname of the child since these are not specifically given. You can see that I have entered a blank for these fields. In addition, I must put the mother's name as given and not expand it to Elizabeth. Further along in the same batch, I read, James and Sarah of James and Mary Fry. This means that there were 2 children christened, and each one is placed in a separate record. I wish you success with your indexing.